Hey guys, okay, so I am going to do this the best way I possibly can. I don't have a mounted thing in my car for this, so I can't really drive and hold it until I put another thing in here that will allow me to drive without my hands. I'll have to have my phone down here. I hope that's fine. Alright, so this is still part of my journey of becoming comfortable going live. And I was just watching things today on YouTube, and right now I'm at the laundromat, and I'm gonna go and see if I can find something to stay awake and aware. Um, but I was just thinking about all of the stuff that's happening politically here in the United States, and the things that are just unfolding here, things that people never thought could happen in the United States. And what I always say to that is everything is possible. Every single thing is possible. I'm pretty sure no one ever thought Rome would fall either. I'm sure the Romans didn't think that. They were powerful as fuck. But they did. They fell. They got too confident, too cocky, and all of that, and they fell. And this is the thing with that. America, in my opinion, this is all my opinion. America needed to hit this breaking point. We've been on a precipice for a long time in this country, especially being the color that I am and the gender that I am. We can tell you that this has been coming. This has been coming, and even if no one, I keep saying this because people want to blame one race or one group of people over another, and it's just not. This is all solely due to racism, hatred, bigotry. There is no other reason for the things that are happening in this country other than the fact that people decided, because a lot of people are saying now that they were tricked, that Trump lied, the administration's lied, and things like that. And what I say to that is, how many politicians have ever been in office that have not lied? Politicians lie, and Donald Trump is not even a politician. He's a businessman. And you can tell from the state of his businesses that he's not a great one. He was born into wealth. He did not acquire it on his own. He doesn't know what he's doing. So, anyway, with all that being said, of course he lied. Of course he did. He was going to lie. He needed to lie because he only needed his objectives fulfilled. People, especially like egomaniacs like him, there is a bottom line, and the bottom line is them and what they want. It is never about anybody else, and it's just as simple as that. So this country will fall. It's been cracks in the surface and in the foundation forever. This world, our world, the United States, was built on a cracked foundation. I know because my people built it. My grandmother just died last year, and she was 97. She picked cotton in this country. She picked cotton at 3 years old. What the hell? And people are like, oh, that was so long ago. That was my generation still. I was alive with my grandmother. You know what I mean? We had her here, and she would tell us these stories from her life that just ended last year. So, this place was built on the cracks in the foundation. And the reason that they're trying to rage bait us so hard is because technically this is the land of people who look like me and the people who are here before. The native people who are already held this land, the Hispanic people, the people who like the whole west side of the world, New Mexico, and Albuquerque and Los Angeles, all of those from people who already were here. And so colonizers came in and they took all of that. So this place was built on tears, on blood, on cracks in the foundation. And now now that the cracks, they're trying to keep repatching these cracks, and they're getting bigger because we're not doing this anymore. So what they want is for us to come out into the streets and fight, and what we want is something completely different. So what's happening here is not the fault of one race or one gender or one anything of people. It is solely the fault of people who would rather ally themselves with the enemy than to be comfortable standing strong in what they feel is right for their family. When you listen to someone back and forth and you only hear what you want to hear, you don't hear the other things. This whole regime has told you what they were going to do from the beginning. We already had a taste of it when he was in office before. And so the fact that people were scared, I understand why so many, in my opinion, I understand why so many of the other races voted the way they did. And it's solely because they just did not think that this could ever happen. And the whole point is that it can. And now it is. And so now there is no one coming to save us. We are the help. We are the ones that are coming to save us. We are the ones, we're the ones that need to stand up, and we're gonna have to fight. It's gonna be such a thing that we, the people, will end up fighting the government, the police, the military. It's gonna be messy. Right now, people are still thinking that something can be done to stop this. I am not holding out hope for that, because this has been building. This has been coming to a head. This has been growing for hundreds of years. So, if you don't already know, if you think we're going into a recession, then you don't know. You haven't been able to see what's happening. We're not going into a recession. We are in the greatest depression that has ever happened to this country. This will be bigger than the Great Depression when in the 30s. This will be bigger. This will be worse. So with all of the devastation that happened then, this will be worse than that, because there are more people, there are more opinions, and there's more to lose. There's more to fight for. So we are already in a depression, y'all. Please don't think that we're not. Just because you haven't noticed it yet, but just pay attention. The shipping, and the thing is, this is so frustrating to me, because I don't want this to happen. I'm not rooting for this. I hope beyond, it is my greatest, deepest wish and hope and wanting for myself and for everybody else. It is my deepest wanting that this doesn't happen. That something amazing comes through and just stops all of this in its tracks, so that millions of people aren't going to be fighting and dying. This is not what I want. This is not what anybody wants. And I just buried, my sister, her funeral was Saturday. This is Monday. No, it's Tuesday. And this is the first day I've been out of the house since Saturday. And I don't even want to come out the house anymore, because I can feel it. I can feel the oppression. I can feel the anxiety. When I even open my door, I can feel people around me I can feel people's energy. I can feel their anxiety. I can see what they're thinking about. People are so stressed out right now. Everyone is so stressed. And it's not even specifically because of what's happening with the government. It's because of their own everyday lives. Even without this bullshit that's happening with our economy, people have to get through their everyday lives because people are still dying. People need medicines, people are sick, they need to work, like all of these things, and it just will get worse. Um, and I'm feeling all of that. So it makes it really difficult for me to, I can't voice these things in the same way. Um, I'm trying to not cry because I'm sick of crying. So I'm trying to not cry while I'm thinking about this. But I've been having these dreams. I've been having these prophetic dreams for years. For years. This has been coming. This flood, these wars. I've been dreaming about it. And I just started in January having dreams about the plane crashes. So after I had my first dream in January about the plane crash, I think it was 4 to 7 days after that dream that the planes started to crash. I've already seen what happens here, and I'm hoping that um, I've seen some of what happens here. I also had the dreams about the sinkholes. I had those dreams last year about the sinkholes opening in the street and trucks and things being swallowed up. So what I'm feeling is not just something that I'm making up. And I know a lot of sensitive people on the planet have started to awaken and see these things for themselves. I know people are having dreams. I'm not the only one having these dreams. I'm not the only one having these waking visions of where I'm seeing things happen and then they do. I know I'm not the only one that feels this anxiety and this tension. I know I am not the only one who is going through this soul bending, soul crushing, dark night of the soul energy that the entire collective is going through. But I've been trying to channel and upload these messages as often as I get them. And still, it's just like there's only so much I can do. There's only so much you can do. This is happening. And in this lifetime, I never thought I would see this. I never thought no shit like this would happen in my lifetime. Even the poles, the universal, like the magnetic poles of the earth are flipping right now, which is why we're getting snow down south and floods in other places and things like that. Because the poles are shifting. And it's such a big thing that's happening on the planet. She is going through an entire change and she is elevating. And if we do not elevate with her, it will either be elevate and move up or fight the process of this and fall further down. There is no right, there is no wrong. Everybody's journey is their journey. We are all fractals of the same source, so we literally are all fighting each other. If once people realize that, hopefully this will stop. But until this separation that people feel that we have on the planet, when I say that I am you, I don't just say that. I am part of you, just like you are part of me. It's like us all living on the planet together. We're all part of this big cell of things. Just think about your body. Your body has all these cells, lymph, blood cells, T cells, all of these things. Um, you have mitochondria, you have nucleus and atoms, you have all of these things that are happening in your body. So to your body and the systems that are alive in your body, these things that are alive inside you, you are the world. For your body and everything that's happening in your system, you are the world. for your body, for your system, for your heart, your organs, all of these things that are alive that live inside you. You are their world. And so when you die, they do. They can't live without you. Same thing with us, though. We can't survive without the earth. We are literally made from the world. We were created here, born into this place. So our body is the vessel in which we navigate this existence. We can't live outside of space because we don't have we're not born of space in a sense. We don't have the technology yet. We don't have the systems yet where our bodies can handle the density of the waters of space. We can't breathe in the water here, so we definitely can't breathe in the water in space. So, um, so we're born of this place, and we cannot live without her. So all of these things that are happening on the planet right now, I feel like we're creating all these wars, and we're making it more difficult for the planet to elevate. And I think that's why the pole shift is taking so long, because we're overdue for it. If you go back and you look up the history of the shifting poles, this goes back into Thoth and all of the Anunnaki before. But if this place is overdue for a shift, and when that happens, it will all very much go back into how do we survive this? How do we live here? Um, they're 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 saying now that the solar flares and the solar energy that are happening with the sun, the solar storms we're getting hit with, they keep saying that those things are going to cause blackouts because they want you to be prepared for the blackout. The solar events that are happening are not what will cause blackouts on the world. Now, the grid can shift and suddenly, and then everything will just go to shit. There will be blackouts then. Things will things will be in chaos. A lot of people will feel that. Everybody, the world will feel that because the entire world is involved in that. But but if the power goes out, if the grids fall, it won't be because of a solar flare. Please note that. Please understand, people, that this world, the the governing forces on this planet need you to not be aware. It's important that you're not aware, because if you're aware and you start to question stuff, that's annoying and it's confusing and it's weird. And people don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like people asking questions and trying to figure out what their process is, because then they have to change their tactic. And they want things to be out in the open because they have to be out in the open. They can't do anything here without putting it out in the open, which is why they make the movies the way that they make them, which is why they put things in kids' cartoons to make it seem like it's just entertainment. But pay attention, y'all, please. So the things that are happening now on the world, even if, like, back to my previous point, even if no one in the United States have voted. Let's just say everyone stayed home, but we knew who the candidates were. Let's just say no one decided to vote, but we knew who the candidates were. Let's just say that none of our votes would ever matter, but we knew who the candidates were. Given all of what's happening now, how many people think that the current president would still be the president? I do. Because it was never about us. It was never about the American people voting someone into office. It's never been about that. We learned in grammar school that the Electoral College chooses the president. So why do we vote? Why do we vote? To feel like we had a say in it, to feel like, oh, if I could do this, this is who I pick. But they pick who they want. They pick who they need. They pick who suits them. So even if none of us had ever voted, they still would have picked him to ruin the world, to ruin this country. This one country with this dude is affecting every single country on the planet right now because of what's happening here. They needed this chaos because this is a time of awakening, and they are doing their best to crush the hope. And when you do horrible things like this to people, you crush their hope and you make them feel like they don't have any choice but to depend on you. And that's how slavery happens. That's how these things happen, because people who are supposed to fight against these types of things are afraid to go against what they think is right, because either they want to be looked at as being on the side that pit the right person, or like if Trump hadn't won, um, that's something to consider. If he hadn't won, none of this would be happening. You know, um, but they put him in there just so that we could have these experiences. Because for whatever is happening, um, this country, they want this country. He wants to be king of this country, with an entire rule of thumb, that oppresses people and makes them do what they want. Like, it's all bullshit. But these things that are happening, please don't think that they're random. This has all been planned. Project 2025 said it all. And a lot of people thought that that was fake, but why would it be? Why take the time to write something so elaborate? Why take the time to do that? That was a plan. It was a project. And projects need experiments. Guess who that is? Oh my God. Guess who it is? The entirety of the United States right now is an experiment. It's an experiment, and people fell right into it. So, because this didn't have to be a thing. This didn't have to be a thing. Um, but it is a thing because certain ideals and hatreds and things like that just need to die. This is all old energy. This is all old energy. Guess who's starting this? The people who lived through the 40s and the 50s and the 60s, who remember what it was like to just be on top of the world and not have to worry about anybody else because you're at the top. That's what this is. Um, but nothing stays the same forever. And things that are at the top, eventually they trickle down. And things at the top, once you take a place and you upturn it, which is what's happening with the whole pole shift. I think this is all just part of that world. When the pole shifts, the world literally goes from front to back, from from north to south to north. Like, that's what it feels like when the poles shift. And that's what's happening now. All of the hatred and racism and bigotry that created this place, now needs to break. And what was at the top will not fall. And then we rebuild again. That's just how it's always been. And this is the time that's happening in. So I can already see it, the empty shelves. COVID was a precursor. We all need to be prepared for this. And I suggest strongly that you make friends with your community, because you're going to need your community for this. We're going to need to stick together for this, because they're not able to get us into the streets the way they want. Please trust and believe that they have not given up on that. And we all know that they are not above inciting riots and violence, to get what they want. We know that they are not above snatching peoples out of their houses and doing things like that. We know that this is how this world is, and things just get swept under the rug. So, yeah. All right. I've been sitting here for 25 minutes. Thanks for joining. Oh, I didn't even see if there's anybody here. I don't even know. I'm trying to see now. Oh, thank you for subscribing. But yeah, I'm going to go. And I hope you guys are having an amazing day. I hope everybody is good. And I really, I really just want world peace. I really just want world peace. And that reminds me of Miss Congeniality, because it's so true. Like, it's so cliche, but can we just get world peace? Jeez. All right, I'm out.